Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Special attention, be patient for at least 20 seconds of this video clip, and you will surely find what you are looking for. Alexandru is my name, and in this video clip we will discuss about crypto market forecast for 2023, September Bitcoin and other top cryptocurrencies followed up a lackluster July with more losses in August. Fortunately, cryptos rebounded in the closing week of the month when a U.S. Court of Appeals ruled the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission inappropriately denied Grayscale permission to convert its popular Grayscale Bitcoin Trust into an ETF. Bitcoin prices plummeted in mid-August in a mass liquidation event some traders blamed partially on Tesla CEO Elon Musk. In addition, commentary from Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell at the annual Jackson Hole Economic Symposium suggests crypto investors should prepare for interest rates to remain historically high for an extended period. Despite the headlines, the Grayscale court ruling has crypto investors optimistic the market's bullish late-month momentum will carry over into September and beyond. August crypto market performance. Bitcoin prices dipped below $26,000 in mid-August, but bounced back to close out the month at $27,371, a 5.2% monthly decline. Ethereum, ETH, prices dropped 7% in August to close out the month at $1,716. Among the 10 largest cryptocurrencies by market capitalization, excluding stable coins, Bitcoin's modest August decline made it the top performer of the month. Litecoin, LTC, was the worst performer with a 28.2% loss. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Special attention, be patient for at least 20 seconds of this video clip, and you will surely find what you are looking for. Alexandru is my name, and in this video clip we will discuss about crypto market forecast for 2023, September Bitcoin and other top cryptocurrencies followed up a lackluster July with more losses in August. Fortunately, cryptos rebounded in the closing week of the month when a U.S. Court of Appeals ruled the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission inappropriately denied Grayscale permission to convert its popular Grayscale Bitcoin Trust into an ETF. Bitcoin prices plummeted in mid-August in a mass liquidation event some traders blamed partially on Tesla CEO Elon Musk. In addition, commentary from Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell at the annual Jackson Hole Economic Symposium suggests crypto investors should prepare for interest rates to remain historically high for an extended period. Despite the headlines, the Grayscale court ruling has crypto investors optimistic the market's bullish late-month momentum will carry over into September and beyond. August crypto market performance. Bitcoin prices dipped below $26,000 in mid-August, but bounced back to close out the month at $27,371, a 5.2% monthly decline. Ethereum, ETH, prices dropped 7% in August to close out the month at $1,716. Among the 10 largest cryptocurrencies by market capitalization, excluding stable coins, Bitcoin's modest August decline made it the top performer of the month. Litecoin, LTC, was the worst performer with a 28.2% loss.